I followed Mira down the narrow lane behind the bookstore. The sky was turning a dim shade of gold, that quiet hour between evening and night when everything feels softer and heavier. The cold wind brushed against my jacket, carrying the faint smell of wet soil and old wood. Mira walked ahead of me with quick, nervous steps, glancing back as if afraid she might lose her courage. Or afraid someone might stop her. We reached a small house tucked between two larger ones. The paint was chipped, the curtains drawn, and an old bicycle leaned against the porch railing. It looked simple, lived in, and strangely lonely. Mira paused at the door, her hand shaking as she unlocked it. "Just try to stay calm," she whispered. I didn't know what she meant, but my chest was already tight. Something deep inside me sensed that my life was about to change again, just like it had on my graduation night. The door opened with a soft creak. Warm light spilled into the small living room. The smell of home-cooked food lingered in the air. Rice, something with tomatoes, something comforting. Then my eyes caught the details. A small pair of blue shoes beside the door. A backpack with cartoon characters. Crayons scattered on a low table. Drawings taped to the refrigerator. Bright colors, clumsy outlines, a smiling sun, stick figures holding hands. My breath caught in my throat. I turned to Mira. Her eyes were already filling with tears. "This is why I disappeared," she said, her voice barely. A whisper. A soft pattering of footsteps echoed from the hallway. Then, a child appeared. A small boy. 6, maybe 7 years old, warm brown eyes. Dark hair that fell messily over his forehead. Eyes that looked painfully familiar. He stopped when he saw me. His tiny fingers gripped the edge of the doorway. His gaze moved slowly from Mira to me, studying us both as if trying to understand something important. "Mom," he asked softly, "is that him?" My heart dropped. It didn't just sink, it broke open. Mira knelt beside him, cupping his cheek gently. Her voice trembled. "Yes," she said. "That's him." I felt my knees weaken. I had to reach for the back of a chair to steady myself. "Mira," my voice cracked. "He's mine?" She nodded, tears spilling onto her cheeks. "I tried to tell you," she whispered. "The day I found out. I called your house. Your mom answered." A cold wave washed over me. "She told me," Mira continued, "that you didn't want to see me. She said you knew about the baby. That you said it wasn't your problem anymore. She told me you were planning to leave and didn't want a child tying you down." I shut my eyes. Pain twisted inside me like a blade. My mother. My own mother had stolen this from me. "I called again," Mira said, voice breaking. "I went to your house. She met me at the door. She told me to move on, that you already had. I didn't know what else to do, so I left." Her tears fell faster now. "I thought you didn't want us," she whispered. I looked at the little boy. My son. He was watching me carefully, shy but curious. His eyes were so innocent. He had no idea what was happening, what was taken from us. 7 years. 7 years of first steps, first words, first drawings, first dreams. 7 years of a life I never got to be part of. My phone buzzed sharply in my pocket, breaking the silence. "Mom again." Her name glowed on the screen like poison. Mira flinched when she saw it. "Please," she whispered, "don't answer her." But I did. I pressed the phone to my ear, staring at my son the entire time. "Daniel!" my mother snapped immediately. "Why didn't you answer earlier? Your father and I need money. We heard you're back in town. Come by tonight." Her voice was sharp, demanding, entitled, like she had every right to order me around. I let the silence stretch, let her wonder, let her feel, for once, the emptiness she created. Then I said quietly, "No," she scoffed. "What do you mean, no? We're your parents. You owe us. I don't owe you anything," I said, my voice steady, stronger than I expected. "You skipped my graduation for a Super Bowl party. And that's not even the worst thing you did." The line fell silent. Then her tone turned defensive. "What are you talking about?" I looked at Mira, broken, trembling, waiting. "You stole my family from me," I said. "You told Mira I didn't want her. You told her I didn't want my child. You lied to her. You lied to me. For years. My mother inhaled sharply. Daniel, she's lying to you. No. I cut in. She's telling the truth. And even if you deny it, it won't matter. Because I know now. I finally know. My voice softened as I looked at my son. And I'm done letting you decide my life for me. Before she could respond, I ended the call. For the first time in 7 years, the weight on my chest loosened. Something inside me, something hurt and young and abandoned, finally stopped waiting for an apology that would never come. Mara wiped her tears. I didn't want you to hate her, she whispered. I just didn't want our son to grow up thinking he wasn't wanted. I stepped toward them, lowering myself slowly so I was eye level with the boy. He looked at me with quiet wonder, half afraid, half hopeful. Hey, I said softly. I'm Daniel. He hesitated. Then, almost whispering, Mom says you're my dad. My throat tightened. I nodded. I am, I said. And if it's okay, I'd like to get to know you. His small face lit up with the tiniest smile. A smile that felt like a second chance. Mara watched us with tears, but this time, they weren't only sad. What now? She asked quietly. I took a slow breath. Now, I said, I start showing up for the people who were kept away from me. The boy reached out and held my hand, and in that moment, standing in a small, worn-down house with the 2 people I should have never lost, I felt my revenge settle in my heart. Sometimes the strongest revenge isn't anger. It's choosing the love someone tried to take from you. We ended up sitting in the same cafe we used to visit after school. The wooden sign outside was faded now, the paint peeling at the corners. Inside, the place smelled exactly as it always had: warm bread, old books, and a hint of cinnamon from the pastries they baked every morning. I chose a seat by the window. Mara sat across from me, fingers wrapped tightly around her cup like she needed something warm to hold on to. For a moment, neither of us spoke. It felt strange, sitting so close to someone who once knew every part of me. Someone who had memorized the way I laughed, the things that scared me, the dreams I carried. Now, she felt like a shadow of my past sitting in a chair. How long will you be in town? She finally asked, her voice soft and careful. Not long, I replied. Just a work project. She nodded slowly, eyes flicking down to the steam rising from her coffee. Her hair fell forward as she lowered her head, and she pushed it back behind her ear the same way she used to. The gesture sent a small ache through my chest. I'm glad you're okay, she said quietly. I don't know if okay is the right word, I answered. But I'm here. She swallowed, and I could see her throat tighten like she was holding words back. When she finally looked up, her eyes were shining, not with tears, but with something deeper. Regret. Fear, and something I couldn't name. Daniel, she whispered. I never wanted things to end like they did. A cold, heavy silence settled between us. You stopped answering my calls, I said. You disappeared. No explanation. Her fingers trembled around her cup. I know, she said. And I'm sorry. More than you know. The apology didn't erase the years of confusion, or the nights I wondered what I'd done wrong. But there was something in her voice that felt true. Still, I wasn't ready to let her off that easily. You could have told me something, I said. Anything. She bit her lip and looked out the window, watching people walk by, carrying groceries, laughing with friends, living ordinary lives untouched by the kind of hurt hanging between us. I had reasons, she murmured. 7 years worth of reasons? She closed her eyes briefly, like my words hit a raw part of her. You were hurting, she said. Your parents, your mom told me you needed space. That I was making things harder for you. My chest tightened. My mom said that? Mara nodded slowly. She came to see me. She said you were angry at everyone. She said you were planning to leave town and wanted a clean break. Her voice lowered. She also said you'd found someone else? My heart dropped. I never did, I said firmly. Not once. Her eyes met mine again, wet, searching, pleading. I know, she whispered. I know that now. The cafe felt smaller suddenly, like the walls were closing in.my mother's lies.myra's disappearance.my lonely graduation night. Everything was tangled together. For the first time, I noticed Myra's hands weren't just trembling, they were shaking. You okay? I asked softer than before. She nodded too quickly. Yeah. It's been a long time. Her reaction wasn't normal. Her eyes kept darting to the door. She kept fidgeting like she was waiting for someone, or hiding from them. Something was definitely wrong. But she kept speaking, forcing her words out. There's something I need to tell you, she said, voice almost breaking. I leaned forward a little. What is it? Just then, my phone vibrated on the table. The name on the screen made my stomach churn. Mom. Of course. Myra froze when she saw the caller ID. Her entire face changed. Her shoulders tensed, her breath hitched, and she looked away as if the name itself frightened her. I declined the call. The silence that followed felt heavier than anything we'd said all afternoon. Myra, I said slowly. What are you afraid of? Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Talk to me, I added gently. She shook her head. It's not that simple. Then make it simple, I insisted. She stared at the table, and for a moment, it looked like she was fighting herself, like there was something inside her she had been holding in for years, something that was too big to hide anymore. Finally, she let out a trembling breath. Daniel, she said. The reason I disappeared, the reason I said nothing, it wasn't because I didn't care. Her voice cracked. It was because someone didn't want me to care. Someone didn't want me near you at all. My chest tightened. Who? I asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she stood up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. I need to show you something, she whispered, eyes full of fear. You won't believe me unless you see it. She walked toward the door without waiting for my response. And even though part of me wanted to stay behind, to protect myself, to avoid reopening old wounds, something deep inside pushed me to follow her. Because whatever she was hiding, it wasn't small.it, wasn't simple.it, was something that had shaped both of our lives. Maybe forever.